Recorded in their mother's basement, Super Nerdland brings you Graded Point 5, where in a comic book it would be worth less than the polybag it comes in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Graded Point 5. I'm your host Jason. That was Daryl, the puerile bastard.
Oh yeah, buddy. I'm still stuck in the 5th grade.
We also got Wayne. Can't breathe. Wayne can't breathe. We got Dick over there.
Yeah.
And we got Piper over there.
Well, I was gonna say at least 4 out of the 5 people here have Dick.
Well, it also depends on what night.
Oh, hello there.
Whoa. Wait, are you saying you're a wear trainee?
Alright.
I know where you live, kinda.
I'll give you my address. Let's go.
Let's go shooting, Dick.
Dick never was seen
Be first.
Okay, yeah.
So before we get into all this madness, if you want to tell us we're wrong, because we're going to be wrong,
Then fuck you. Oh, wait.
fuck you. But you can do so on our Twitter, at Grade.5. Spell it out. Yeah.
Learn to spell. And then spell it out.
Yeah, learn to spell.
Wayne is channeling Kota Ibushi tonight. Not that we're the Heels and Heroes podcast, but...
Stop promoting them. So yeah, alright. Obvious reasons. We're going to be talking about the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. That obvious reason being that it's a great story. Because we're definitely not timely.
Yeah, and we're like, what, 4 weeks into...
Yeah. Yeah,
So, it'll still be within 4 weeks when this actually airs on the website.
Guys, I'm just still shocked that Hellboy showed up in this. It's amazing to me.
Right.
God damn it.
Yeah, when he finally fulfilled his destiny and
he fell through a castle. Sorry, had to throw the obvious jokes.
Yeah. Okay. What were you saying?
I mean, yeah. It just makes sense to do it.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about doing it for a while, and we...
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we did it before, though.
We did not speak of this.
Oh, so we actually did. Okay.
We didn't, Daryl. We did not do this before.
Well, more correctly, we right now didn't do this.
That's
right.
True.
Actually, the funny thing is, just change out one vagina for
Wait.
not vagina, and it's the same fucking people.
Oh,
Oh, not even close.
Oh,
Not
no.
even close.
Hold on a sec. Yeah, how do I put this?
You don't.
I see skies are blue.
Alright, inside baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
But no. I thought that happened in an alternate timeline or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Alternate timeline.
Yep,
That's right.
yep. That was pre-crisis.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is post-crisis.
It was a trade paperback, and it was absolutely terrible.
Imaginary story from the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Everything about this.
Done by Carmine Infantino. Alright, so, check it out. So Thanos is in love with death. Because, I don't know why.
Well, no, because he's so fucked up in the head. He's always had a fascination with death and shit. So, the living embodiment of death gives
Plus
him a
she's
fucking
hot.
chub. Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, I get why the storyline, but it's just like, I don't see how it does anything. Like, I can worship it, but I wouldn't be sexually attracted to it.
But
Well-
she's a she, and she's hot.
Yeah.
Thanos wants to play.
Do you not have a penis?
Well, Thanos wants to play the xylophone on her back with his dick.
I was gonna say he wants to shuffle her tits around and fucking
Now, if we're talking the version of death from the Deadpool game, yeah.
Yeah, dude, she's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's got an obsession with death.
So he sits in this little pool called the Infinity Well and meditates on, what do I gotta do? How do I wipe out half the life in the universe?
Well, let's step back for a second. The reason why he wants to do that in the first place is because Death resurrected him after deciding that, there were the fact that there were more people alive than had ever died in history was an imbalance.
Yeah.
We can keep going back and back and back. That's the thing.
Well, that I think is a good starting point there to establish why he's mixed up in this. I think, because Death was like, "You will be my tool," and he's like, "I'll show you my tool, baby." The Infinity Gauntlet's not the only tool I know. But yeah, go ahead, Jason. Sorry about that, man.
So yeah, Thanos sits there and just goes, what the fuck do I gotta do? And eventually the idea comes to him to go after the soul gems, as they were called, wrongly called. Turns out they're actually way
even the
more
comics
than...
still correct it to Infinity Gems. It
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying, like,
there.
Thanos realizes they're called that wrongly, that they're actually, far beyond what everybody thought they were.
Yeah.
That everybody just been using them as blunt instruments. So Thanos literally goes on like a universal whoop-ass tour and knocks down 6 of the biggest, oldest people in the universe.
Yeah. Like that last surviving World War II guy. He's like, I don't know, he's got the, IBS stone. I don't know, man.
Irritable bowel syndrome stone?
Yes.
He's just like going around shitting all over the place.
No, he makes everybody else have to shit.
But the drawback is he also has to shit because he's the possessor of it.
Wait, so it's the incontinence gauntlet?
Yes. No, dude, and every time you're sitting at a meeting, and it's like you're like 10 minutes in and you have to run out, that's that guy doing his thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Never get through a fucking meeting. It's ridiculous.
I snapped my fingers, and half the universe needed to take a shit all at once.
So, like, I'm
More
going through,
powerful than the brown note.
kind of rolling through it. I think the best part of this whole thing is just like Silver Surfer chilling out on Doctor Strange's couch.
Yeah.
Like a fucking cosmic being. He's just like, oh, I just can't deal with this. If you see,
He was definitely like very
if you
very
synced
dramatic.
things I've synced, I mean.
Oh man, but yeah. So Thanos decides to go collect the stones and comes up against a bunch of powerful beings to collect them, like the Collector and that other guy that he plays chess
the
with.
champion, the gardener, the runner, the collector, and the grandmaster.
Right. Grandmaster, yeah. So he fights. That was I like that one when he like challenges him to a game and then
Tries to cheat.
yeah.
And then it's like Thanos cheated first.
Yeah. He's like, I anticipated this move. I'm playing 4D chess.
Actually, what confused me was as soon as he gathered them, he was bragging about how he was better than Death, and then like a couple pages later, he is crying over the fact that she won't notice him. Like,
yeah, because I think that Thanos has got it so hard for her that he resents her a little bit. He's like, that bitch won't give it up, man. Like, now I'm better than Death. But
it was just it messed me up a little bit the way he was talking about Death, I guess.
Right.
It's like, I'm so good I make my own bitch.
And then he was all whiny like, oh, she still won't notice me. Where?
Yes.
And I'm like, wait,
Maybe it's
weren't
'cause
you
you're a
like
fucking
not giving a
asshole.
shit like a couple pages ago?
Right.
And Mephisto's like the wingman that's like gonna guide you right into a mountaintop so he can steal your girl at the end of the night.
But guys, Thanos is the ultimate incel.
Oh my god. What especially made me giggle is the fact that he does create him a supposedly ideal girlfriend, yet still pines after death. And I'm like, why didn't you try like making your dick ginormous? Like, obviously you can make a whole girlfriend. So I mean,
yeah, Death
you haven't tried that yet. Why the fuck not?
So you're saying that Death's problem with Thanos is that in spite of wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, he's got a tiny baby penis.
Yes.
He's got like a baby's pinky for his cock.
Have you seen how? I mean, everybody's got tight fucking pants if they're not wearing cloaks.
Yeah.
He's in the tight pants category. Obviously, he ain't packing much, if anything.
Either that or he's tucking it back.
Or he's wearing a cup.
I don't know. They showed him from behind too.
Oh, Lordy Jesus.
I think it reminded me of a parallel when, this whole thing. It's like, I remember this video, it was watching one time, guy playing, he's playing Halo and he like won some tournament or something. And he was dreaming though. It was a dream of his. And his like dream, in his dream, after he won, he says, now you get $3 trillion in infinite girlfriends. So Thanos is basically the guy who just won the Halo tournament.
Right. But I think Thanos' thing though is, he's known as a mad titan for a reason, and I think
all the more reason why he should have had an Infinity Codpiece.
Yeah. Oh God. I think that was fucking.
I'm not done with that one yet. Give it back.
I think that was. I think that was fucking David Bowie's codpiece. Considering how much they showed it on screen, there had to be something special about that.
The fact that it wasn't a codpiece, it was just his dick.
Wow, that guy's packing. That guy's packing heat. But yeah, where were we?
Never gonna get this back together now that I've said Infinity Codpiece. I'm sorry, y'all, but you're fucked.
Oh shit. Now I'm just imagining Thanos doing like Shakespearean acting, wearing his fucking Infinity Codpiece.
What the fuck? Alright. So let's speed it up. Thanos makes a gigantic fucking throne in space. Because of course he does. Makes it as a monument to death, but really a monument to himself.
Yeah.
Because he got the ego. You notice how Death in her humanoid form looks like Raven from Teen
Yes,
Titans?
I was thinking that too. I was like, it's Raven.
I'm pretty sure that has to do with the fact that George Perez did the art for this, but and it's that is one of the we'll get into that later, but the art is fucking great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I gotta say this though, I had forgotten how in older comics, and I say older, but this was like the freaking 90s, and
91.
Right? Which makes me feel old as hell.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm like, I forgot like how just completely insane eyebrows were. Like no matter what race the character is, eyebrows were nuts.
But here's the sad part. We weren't even 7 when this storyline ended.
Dude, I was...
Oh, snap!
I was 12.
I was 7.
I was 12, yeah.
No, dude, it did not end. It ended before November, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But fucking...
I believe I was...
You're like a few weeks younger than me.
Yeah.
Was Dick even born?
No.
Fuck you both.
Fuck.
All three of you. Wayne, let's get out of here, man.
I'm pretty confident I was 7-ish.
Wait,
Almost 7.
Can I borrow some Ben Gay and some fucking...
I don't remember the exact dates. We may have been 7, yeah.
Shut the fuck up
You can't
and get back
borrow
to the story.
You can't borrow any Ben Gay, but you can borrow some Ben Dis.
I don't want to borrow
a lot of my friends are already
Nobody
getting
likes
mail
Bendis.
from AARP.
Hold on.
So I'm dreading that.
Can I borrow some Beppis?
Beepus?
and I'm told I'm already supposed to be carrying like Werthers in my pockets and stuff.
Wow.
My favorite music is oldies now, apparently.
Oh, that's disturbing, dude. Like, some of the music I grew up with is now on the oldie stations, and I'm like,
straight up.
What
I
the
was
fuck?
Oh no, when some of my old favorite shows are on Nick at Night, I'm freaking out. Like, no!
Yeah.
Like straight up, the other day I was like, go flipping through the radio station. I went to the oldies channel, and then fucking playing something from the '80s. I'm like, that's not oldies,
Right?
Yeah.
That's not
And,
oldies.
dude, and the stuff from like the 60s and 70s is like on some classic station. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh, it's considered super old now.
yeah. I'm like, wow, no.
Yeah, I remember when it used to be like an 80s section, like, yeah, we're playing 80s stuff, and now it says, yeah, we're playing old shit. And I'm like,
Right,
no.
Dude, my fucking classic rock station has been playing like Black Crowes, REM,
Oh my god.
like Nirvana.
Yes!
I'm
And
just
I'm-
like, God
I'm
damn.
honestly surprised we haven't seen like a surgence in those cafe 80s type, theme restaurants and shit. Like,
Give it fucking time.
right?
Right.
Give it time.
I'm surprised that our ages have derailed this more than Infinity Codpiece did. I'm kind of disappointed in all of
Yeah,
you.
well,
No,
hey,
there's
we're
nothing to be
feeling our
disappointed about.
mortality here.
This happens more often than you think. I mean, there have been times where we just talk about wrestling for 30 minutes and not forget all about it.
But yeah, those eyebrows, dude.
Very
I think
80s.
maybe some of it comes from jealousy, since mine gave up on me. And
Oh. Yours decided you were getting too old.
yeah, no, they fell out and turned white. So I have to.
Yeah, my problem with eyebrows is like, since I'm a redhead, like they come in like very fine, so you don't see them
Yeah.
at all.
Right.
So I might as well not even have any.
You look like an
I
albino,
used
is
to
what
have
you're saying?
legitimate black eyebrows that would show up in pictures, and now I have to draw them there so that they
Piper,
still
this is
show
gonna
up.
make you feel better, dear.
Okay.
My eyebrows are starting to turn into an old wizard's. Like they're starting to like go off in their own direction and do their own thing.
He's Daryl Dolph the Gray.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You shall not
Mine
pass.
abandoned me, and yours took over.
Right, right. I'm pretty sure that
We actually meet Daryl in 2 years, and he's just an eyebrow.
no. I look like Cousin It.
It's all from that.
But it curls to one side, so you know it's an eyebrow.
You're like, hi, Daryl, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, I had something in my throat.
What I was trying to say was,
Thanos' codpiece.
Yeah, Thanos didn't have any eyebrows.
Yeah, I can't tell in this in these comics whether that's lucky or not.
Oh man, if he took them off and he had like fucking like
he had a unibrow.
yeah, not a unibrow, just like fucking like they were just like went everywhere it's like a curly mustache except fucking eyebrows.
See, at first I thought in these comics that the more retarded and insane the eyebrows, the more powerful the person. But that doesn't seem to be the case. So I think it's the less eyebrows they have.
Right. You don't even see Lady Death's eyebrows for most of the... And she's insanely powerful.
Which means I'm powerful as fuck.
But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, he's aligned himself, or Mephisto has opportunistically aligned himself with Thanos as well. I know.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like I
Doesn't
said, he's
Thanos
kinda
call
like-
him out on that too? He's just like, you're just groveling because you know that you's a bitch.
Yeah. pretty
Yeah.
much.
But
I
yeah,
think
Jason,
actually he doesn't say that until Mephisto betrays him.
right.
And then he's
like,
basically like, yeah, I knew you were just a...
I like how the inking on this one panel makes it look like Death is sticking out her tongue. Like she's going, "Bah," at Thanos. Like he's like, true, I did use the powers you granted me to seek out the Infinity Gems to become the supreme being that now stands before you, and she's just like, "Bah." But anyway, Jason, please carry on, sir.
Oh, shit.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Bah.
You're actually classing up the joint.
Heck yeah. I was going to say, because the boos are kicking in, definitely. The louder I get, the more you know they kick in.
Yeah. Did you just use the word booze yeah, anyway. I don't know words now.
Yeah, it looks like the English language might be lost on you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm sick and also retarded
I
on a
was
good
going to
day.
say, you have an excuse.
No, I don't. I'm usually this retarded. It's just been amplified.
Oh, well, no. I mean, right now you have an excuse. At least you can fall back on the being sick part.
Oh, no. Everybody who's ever listened to this show knows I'm retarded. Like, I'm not hiding it from anybody. But yeah. Jason, please.
Yeah.
Quickly, carry on.
No, dude, I'm gonna let you stew like this shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot to unpack. I mean, this, you know.
This
I got
is
this shit.
six long-ass comics, longer than I thought they were.
Oh, dude, because I read it all. I read all the fucking time.
I finished reading it all just now.
Oh, yeah.
I read all
yeah.
the aftermath.
The entire, all the... Ooh,
All, like,
that's
1,000 fucking pages.
That's
of it.
beefy shit, dude.
This came out back in the time where my mom had me under her thumb, where comics were for boys, so I had to get my fix from my dad. The problem is, my dad was a DC guy, so...
Which, you know, is
So this
all
is
right.
me backtracking a little bit.
Right.
Alright, so a delegation of cosmic superheroes, you got Drax, Firelord, and Silver Surfer, show up to confront Thanos. It quickly devolves into a show of power, Thanos beating the shit out of all of them so much that I think Drax had to escape to Soul World, was it?
Did Drax go too? I think so.
Surfer wound up, like, busting ass to Strange's place. And winds up passed out on Strange's couch. For,
I definitely
fucking
enjoyed
ever.
the creative ways that he killed fucking, especially Scott.
Right, yeah. And see, we didn't really want to talk about the movie, but those were the cool things in the movie that I liked, like when he turned Drax into the
Yeah, they still incorporated it just in a different way, but
right.
they still incorporated it. So that was nice.
Same thing with the Hulk crash land, and that was, you know, what they did because they didn't have the Silver Surfer and shit. And
Yeah.
it's just cool to see those moments on screen. But
And someone had to say Thanos is coming.
right. Because it's never death.
Yeah.
She never says Thanos is coming.
I like, and for some reason remember, and I don't know why I remember, the Thor, or fake Thor, being turned into glass. Like, I remember that for some reason. So that wasn't a surprise when I was reading it. I was just like, oh, that's where it came from.
Right.
So I'm not sure why I remember that. Maybe from a different comic referencing it or something.
Maybe memes. Everything's a meme.
It's
Right? I haven't
very
seen that in a
possible.
meme yet.
Oh, give me a week.
But yeah, so Drax fucks off and everybody fucks off and the Surfer's chilling on Strange's couch.
With Wong and Rintra.
Yep. And he's
Rintra's like, motherfucker, you want tea?
yeah.
I like how Wong is just like a glorified butler anymore.
Yeah. He's the Jarvis of Sanctum.
Well, here's the cool part. Wong may be the butler, but Rintra's still the bitch.
I never understood that character. Who the fuck is
He just was some dude who wanted to train under Strange. I don't remember what his deal
But still,
was.
Wong being reduced to a side character butler thing so hardcore is like.
I do like the movie Wong a little better.
I really hope
Well-
they don't turn him into a butler.
Eventually Wong becomes kind of like Alfred. Where he's still the butler, but he's like a complete and utter badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, Strange doesn't have an excuse to have a butler.
Yeah.
He really shouldn't need a butler.
I've got mastery over the mystic arts, but I still need somebody to fetch me my coffee.
Right?
Reap the stairs, Wong. Fuck you, Strange. Sanctum's looking a little dusty.
And I know we're not supposed to reference or compare to the movie, but
No.
I'm just gonna say the cinematic universe turns Wong from a more of a badass to even worse than a butler.
He's still pretty cool, though. I like that Wong.
Cool looking, cool personality, but they made him a little bitch.
To be fair, though, he hasn't had much to do. I mean, maybe he'll...
He's had things that he could have done, but he, pussed out and fucked off.
Oh, didn't you know the next Doctor Strange is going to have him meeting his clone, and they're going to fight the villain, and it's going to be called Doctor Strange, Two Wongs Make a Right.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. I'll see myself
I thought
out.
you were legit for a second. I was like, I don't know anything about the next Doctor Strange movie. And
I don't think Marvel's ready to talk about that shit yet because
right?
it kind
Well,
of
they really
spoils.
can't because they need to resolve the Infinity War stuff.
All right.
What do you think the next movie's going to be called?
Infinity War 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Infinity Quest.
Infinity War 2 to Infinity to War.
Somebody said they wanted it to be called Heroes Reborn.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
my heart can't.
Right?
No.
Yeah. Wait. Why does Doctor Strange have 37 pouches?
God damn it.
Dude,
But
the worst
anyway.
part is my dog is like, why are you howling?
That's my soul being rent in two.
Right?
But anyway,
Oh, shit.
where were we?
Back to the plot.
All right. So,
Now, the Infinity Gauntlet comics should not be mistaken for the Infinity War comics either.
Right.
And also, Thanos has already fucked everybody up once
Now, see,
by the
that-
time that this happens.
Piper, that was the weird thing about the Infinity War name for the movie, because
Yeah.
they named it Infinity War. It had more to do with Infinity Gauntlet, or Infinity Quest, actually.
no, Thanos Quest.
Thanos Quest, that's what I meant. Thanos Quest.
Dang.
And then they could have called this Avengers Thanos Quest, but I guess that would have been giving too much away.
Yeah, and it sounds kind of gay. Not gonna lie. But they could have called it Infinity Gauntlet.
Right. Well,
don't
the next
know.
one could be, I don't know.
I was gonna say, if they're not gonna name it Infinity War 2, then maybe they will name it Infinity Gauntlet and incorporate more of the comics.
Isn't that going to be the dumbest thing, though, if they just end up calling it Infinity War Part 2?
Infinity War 2.
Yeah.
To Infinity, to War. I'm going with this.
To Infinity, to War.
To War.
Hold on. It's owned by Disney to Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh,
jeez.
shit. I would almost appreciate that.
Avengers, to Infinity and Beyond.
I would almost like that.
Yeah. That's actually pretty good, Jason.
Alright, so fucking Strange and everybody assembles a big ass bunch of people.
Yeah, has like almost everybody in the Marvel Universe up to that point. Almost.
Oh. Are we talking about before or after the snap?
I'm
This
trying
is
to
after
remember
the
who
snap. Oh, he
popped
does
up
this.
before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who he gathered before it.
Not too many.
Not many
I mean, we
before
see-
it, honestly.
Right. We see
They got warned just in time, basically, for the snap to happen.
we see stuff with like Pip, and I think that's Gamora, right? And
Yeah.
and all those guys, and Warlock's in his cocoon
and that was
shit.
confusing at first when it jumped to that.
Yeah.
I thought another comic was like, for some reason, randomly. Until I realized it was a pattern. At first, I was like, what is this page doing in here? This is a
Right.
different story.
That was a little bit of weird pacing, but
Yeah.
when you take it in the larger context of the 6 parts, it
Yeah.
makes sense. What's up?
I found it. I figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wrong.
Yes, you were.
Surfer comes to try to defeat Thanos, and Thanos traps
Yeah.
Surfer inside the Soul Gem, where he meets up
And,
with
Andrax.
Andrax. He meets up with Adam Warlock and tells him what Thanos is up to. Warlock's like, "Oh fuck, okay." He casts a spell to pop the Surfer out and says, "All right, I'll help you out." Surfer goes to Earth, crash lands in Strange's place. Crashes on Strange's couch for a while.
They have to ask him to leave, and he never does.
Yeah.
Or at least help with the rent.
Yeah. he fucking ate all their cornflakes and shit.
Right?
But, yeah.
So
I just
Thanos-
like, I don't know how Silver Surfer is very dramatic here and through the whole thing, and is very like damsel-y to me in the whole I'm getting the vapors kind of thing.
Well, to be fair, though, if I had to look at Thanos' Infinity Codpiece, I'd probably...
But, yeah, but the way he's written then, when you compare it to... everything grows up. Yeah, so it makes more sense probably then, but when I'm reading it now, I'm like, goddamn, can I get you a bonnet, buddy?
And then there's just random Cersei. Oh, shit. I forgot about that character. But yeah. Jason.
So, Thanos creates a giant shrine to death that's really to himself. Pops Nebula up at the moment of death and leaves her on the fucking edge of death permanently.
Oh, yeah.
To try and impress.
Yeah, to try and impress death, and that's just like, what the fuck ever, man.
Like, I'm assuming at this point that Thanos has never seen a female anything.
Yeah.
Because even for death, I'm kind of like...
Well, hold up. Here's the worst
Check it out. I am torturing a chick. How's that hot, right?
Well, dude, here's the worst part. Nebula claims to be Thanos' grandchild, or granddaughter. Which means not only has Thanos gotten pussy...
Yeah. Ew.
He got pussy way back when.
That's true. So he has no excuse.
Oh, Thanos does have a son, yeah.
Several.
Oh, yeah. I only know about that one guy, Thane or whatever.
Thane? Yeah.
I don't know. Outside of Infinity Gauntlet, I never really thought Thanos was all that interesting a character. I mean, he was at one time my favorite villain because of the Infinity stuff. But then, like, I don't know, like rereading this, I don't know. He's still interesting, I guess, but like.
All right.
What interests me more is the nature of his weakness.
Yeah, right.
The one thing that I would point out...
That's what I find the most interesting.
Yeah, wait.
The one thing I would point out is that the whole time he's trying to make Death notice him and this, that, and the other, and she wouldn't spurn. He has the power to manipulate everything.
Right.
Just make her love you.
Right?
But he can't.
There were so many what ifs while I was reading. Like,
I'm just saying, he claims to have almighty power. Just make her love you. You got it. You're there, dude. You literally have the roofie of the cosmos. You can do this.
You can legitimately get any chick you want, including death. But no, you're gonna bend over backwards to try to show off and not enhance your penis. Like, what the fuck?
Are you saying it's like Infinity Gauntlet's like Cialis or Viagra or one of those penis enlargement pumps?
It's everything. It's every drug.
Oh god, now I'm imagining fucking Thanos hanging the gauntlet off his cock and like wheeling it around.
Alright. So Thanos gets pissed off because, Death doesn't want the D.
Yeah.
So he gets pissed off and like goes all like Super Saiyan for a minute, and it causes a force wave that destroys stars and just
oh yeah,
wrecks shit and
his little tantrum.
Yeah.
By the time it hits Earth, it's still 2% of power, but
it wrecks
shit up.
Earth.
Western coast falls off. Japan's gone.
Finally. Not Japan, the Western coast. I was happy about that part. California gone. No.
Jesus, woman.
Not Japan. That made me sad.
Is she wrong though, Jason?
Fuck the Avengers West Coast.
Yeah, Whoops.
My bad.
But yeah.
Well, I was sad that it sank into the ocean instead of becoming an island like it should have.
Oh shit. It's like Spider Island, but with progressives.
Mephisto finally goes, maybe Death's pissed because you haven't done the one thing you said you're going to do. And Thanos goes, oh yeah.
Forgot all about that.
He goes, oh, check this shit. And everybody's gone. 50% of the universe. And there is a shitload of named superheroes gone. Check this shit. I compiled a list.
Nice, you did work.
Jason has autism, so please donate to autism awareness.
No, just donate to me, motherfucker.
I just have the comics where I can pull them back up if I want to. But...
Alright, because some of these aren't confirmed except for inside shit. Like, issues of specific
Right.
comics.
Yeah, they cross them off on the,
Alright, we got Cersei, Hawkeye, Rick Jones, Wong, Mentor, Gamora, Archangel, Beast, Black Cat, Black Panther, Box, Dagger, Daredevil, Diamond Lil, Firestar, Guardian, Hercules, Human Torch, Iceman, Invisible Woman, Makari, Marvel Boy, Marvel Girl, Mr. Fantastic, Night Thrasher, North Star, Power Man, Puck, Quicksilver, Sasquatch, Shaman Thing, U.S. Agent, Vindicator, Wasp, and Wind Shearer, whoever the fuck that is.
I think it was apparently like super lucky that the entire Fantastic Four was the entire Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
I hated your movies.
Right? Well, I wasn't really interested in their comics much either. I tried, but no.
There's some good stories in there, yeah.
I'm sure there are. You know what's weird is I don't really care for Fantastic Four comics, but Doctor Doom is one of my favorite villains. So I'm weird.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely replaced Thanos on my list of villains, top villains. But, Jason, where were we?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm catching my breath. Shut up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot your,
Alright.
You got COPD.
So Surfer tells Strange right after this finger snap goes, we gotta fucking do something.
While crying.
Get everybody else.
And fanning himself.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
Feels. They're too strong.
Warlock and, yeah.
Warlock and
For who else? Pip and Gamora, was it?
I believe so, yeah.
Leave Soul World and enter 3 corpses.
Yeah.
And start
that happened before the snap.
Yeah. But
that's how we lost Gamora.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell something that's like 3 or 4 working parts. It's a bitch.
Right.
Dad, do you want me to mute myself?
No.
No. Yeah, Warlock talks to Strange, says we have, send in everybody who's left. Gather everybody who's left. And there's just like a shitload of people. And they all go to space.
This is after Strange and Warlock have like brain sex.
Oh yeah. I tend to forget about that. That was awkward.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that it's fresh in my mind because I freshly read this stuff before. There's actually, besides being busy, there's a reason that I read them really close to the thing, and that's so that I actually remember stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, I got a question. Does that mean that Adam Warlock is pregnant with Doctor Strange's brain babies?
Yes. Either brain babies or soul babies.
I just totally derailed Jason's train of thought.
Yep.
And I'm sorry for that.
Well, I will say this, though. They don't explain to the reader what in the world went on there. They just kind of drew a bunch of, like, psychedelic effects, and then Strange went, oh, I totally trust you now. So, that's weird.
And I'll be honest, I'm doing this without referencing the comic because I don't want to... my Kindle is charging at the moment.
I have to use this shitty-ass Mac, so it's right here. But, I still have to find spots if I wanted to. And for some reason, I'm looking at pictures of desert for no reason. I don't know what the hell this is. Or why this is here. There's... What? Well... Okay, so I can't pull up the comic anymore, and I have to go off of memory. But at least I just read it.
Yeah. All right. So Strange and Warlock gather the remaining heroes. Then Warlock goes off and gathers the cosmic entities with Galactus and APOC.
Oh man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Love and hate. Chaos and order.
Yeah. A couple Celestials, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Watcher, who, very obviously didn't participate, but is still there. There was a lot more, but...
Yeah. And Eternity's, trying to get the Living Tribunal to, directly intervene.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Tribunal says no.
He essentially kind of references culling the herd without saying culling the herd.
Yeah.
But yeah, he essentially says that and that everything is going the way it should.
And so the Tribunal and Eternity leave because, Eternity's pissed off.
Yeah, throws a tantrum.
Everybody else is like, all right, we're going to, fall in behind Warlock. When he gives us a signal, we'll show up and do what we can.
Which I gotta say, props to Warlock for getting this many people to freaking back him. Except Doom. Doom is my favorite dude, man. Not
but
my
I'm liking
favorite, but one of my favorite dudes.
I'm literally looking through this, and everybody's Warlock is telling the story of how he came to be and all that, back to be and all that stuff, and Doom's just chilling on Doctor Strange's recliner.
I like Doom.
He's like, I ain't got time for this shit.
I didn't actually.
He's got an entire country to run. I mean,
right?
This is
I didn't actually discover Doom until after this all took place. Still, because like I said, at that point, I was only exposed to DC in chunks. But and X-Men was the first Marvel I was exposed to. But still, once I got a hold of Doom, I was like, this is a bad guy. That's a good guy. That's a bad guy. That's awesome. I like crap like that. But yeah, Doom is funny in this. Funny and kind of disappointedly stupid, but...
So yeah, fucking Doom decides, I'm gonna make Death jealous. Because that's a smart idea. And creates his ideal companion, Pyraxia, who just looks like, gender swapped Thanos.
Did you say Doom?
Yeah.
What? He meant Thanos, yeah.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, Thanos tries to make Death jealous, and Death is like, what the fuck ever?
I don't care. No.
She is literally a thought. You literally created a thought.
But, dude, to make it a gender swap of yourself, that's a little fucking masturbatory.
So he can go fuck himself without feeling like a weirdo.
I gotta cut out.
Uh-oh. No.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel
Oh, no.
pretty vom thing. Sorry.
Aw. I'm sad.
Well, don't die or anything, because...
Yeah.
Right.
I might. Eventually, in 30 some odd years.
Well...
Alright, actually, I choked it back. We're good.
Oh.
I don't even want to know.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Strange opens the portal, starts getting everybody ready to attack, and Warlock and Surfer, just set out an entire light year away, just chilling. Surfer does a lot of chilling in this.
Yeah, but a lot of whining to go with it.
Yeah.
So Thanos sees everybody coming and just, freezes time. Because why the fuck not?
Right?
Mephisto, fucking... I don't know, what kind of balls it took to do this. convinces Thanos to limit his power and let them be able to attack him and have a shot to prove his bravery. Turn off things like being able to read their minds or warp reality and shit like that.
Yeah, he's still super duper powerful, but basically gives them, like, what did it say, like a 0.5% chance or something?
0.05%.
Yeah, 0.05% chance by not predicting their moves and stuff like that. Yeah. In order to protect that. Yep, I'm drunk. In order to impress Death, who's not really even paying attention, but by being brave, which honestly, that's not brave.
Yeah, no. Listen.
If Mephisto really wanted to get one over on him, then he should have told him to just not use the gauntlet period and use his raw, whatever the hell, pumped up strength without the gauntlet. Part.
Because of all the other shit and everything, I have a list of who dies here and how.
Yes!
Alright, first off, Wolverine gets his bones turned to rubber and he just fucking flat dies.
Yeah, that was funny.
Namor and She-Hulk get turned into some, like, stony, like, fungusy kind of stuff.
Yeah, they, like, get eaten and then turned into it or something.
Yeah.
Just starts growing on them.
Scarlet Witch just gets, like, overpowered and explodes. Cyclops gets stuck with, like, a saw-style see-through box around his head that cuts off his oxygen.
That was one of my favorites.
And he can't blast his way out, so he just fucking dies.
That's one of my favorites. He dies of...
Vision,
oxygen.
reminiscent of the movie. Fucking Thanos just straight up rips part of Vision's fucking chest out.
Yeah.
Cloak tries to contain Thanos of all the dumb ideas.
But he manages to do it for a second.
Yeah, for like a second. But he explodes and dies. Like, totally worth it. Terraxia kills Iron Man off panel.
Yeah.
And, like, gives Thanos his head.
Well, see, that was what I was trying to tell, because it looks like she just gave him his helmet, because there's no eyes, like dead eyes in the eye holes.
Well, it's because there's,
or blood coming out of the helmet.
Well, still.
Well, that's the comics code.
Either way, she said she killed him.
Yeah. Are we leading up to the actual, the most iconic moment in the comic?
Most iconic?
Hold on a second. Fucking,
as far as, like, the face-offs go.
Yeah, the face-off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting to that.
The face-off, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Thor, the replacement Thor, Eric Masterson, gets turned to glass and shattered.
Yeah, that's the one that for some reason I remember being referenced somewhere else or something, because I know that happens, but I haven't read these comics yet. Until now.
Spider-Man gets beaten to death with a rock by Terraxia.
With a freaking rock!
He's fucking clobbered over the head with a rock until he dies from it. Nova gets turned into little itty-bitty cubes, like Lego pieces, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then stepped on.
Yeah.
And scattered and stepped on and stuff.
And then Thanos is like, ow, Have you ever stepped on a Lego? That shit hurts.
Quasar
right?
That's actually how they defeated Thanos.
Dude, fucking Quasar gets his hands blown off and he's like, not again! And then Thanos just blows his ass up and, like, disintegrates him. And then has a showdown one-on-one with Captain America.
Yeah, buddy. I think even more than the snap, that was the iconic fucking moments when Cap faces down Thanos, looks him straight in the eyes, and, challenges him, and of course gets his ass almost handed to him.
Almost.
As Thanos raises his hand to hit Cap, Warlock sends a Surfer to go try to snag the gauntlet.
Right.
Thanos evades it. And goes, what the fuck was I thinking? Why did I do that? I gave them a chance to actually stop me.
Right.
Yep.
And restores his full power. And literally just bitch slaps Cap.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he clears the battlefield. And
And then the cosmic entities come in.
Right. It's like Adam Warlock's all, hey, the eternity.
And fucking Mephisto and Death betray Thanos. And both of them turn on him during the fight. And Thanos gets pissed off, puts all the cosmic entities like in stasis and like above the shrine, and makes the shrine finally to his own ego.
Yeah, he takes Death off of it.
Yeah, and goes, having defeated everybody, kind of thing. I am going to assume the consciousness of reality. And Nebula, the fucking grizzled, fucking haggard half corpse, steals the gauntlet.
Yeah. Manages to take the gauntlet.
And puts it on. And turns
this
her
is where
belt
we get into his weakness. Because every instance of Thanos that I have read and stuff, is he always ends up leaving like a really amateur mistake or loophole eventually.
Yeah, subconsciously.
Yeah, and everything he does.
Even though he quests for the ultimate power and shit, deep down he's got such an inferiority complex that he leaves a way to be, for him to be beaten without being aware he's doing it. Yeah,
and to sit there and not realize that the gauntlet is on a body he's not in was definitely it.
Right. Yep. And that is the most fascinating thing I think about his character, is that he is this, potentially all-powerful, being, and it's always through his own...
I've definitely always associated him with being just crazy and just evil, which is definitely why I think his weakness has always been one of the most intriguing weaknesses out of any character.
Right. Because he's a megalomaniacal genius guy, evil dude, and then he's like, yeah, but I don't think I'm really worthy of it, so...
He's supposed to be smart enough to handle his power, so you think he would be smart enough to handle common sense.
Wow, he's got the world's biggest fucking anxiety issue, right? Like, performance anxiety. That's why he never got death.
Nebula restores herself to, her prime physically, and...
Still not as hot as the movie.
And throws Thanos and Taraxia through interstellar space. Taraxia can't survive like everybody else can, apparently, and dies. Thanos, gets rescued by Strange because Warlock told him to. Warlock,
and that's where you think it's kind of weird, because you're like, why wouldn't you leave him out there?
Yeah, right. But that's when Warlock straight up tells Thanos, I've seen your soul. You were doomed to lose this because you don't think you are worthy of the power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of clues people into his weakness if they hadn't caught on before.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, more than that, he straight up says, 3 times you had,
Yeah, 3 times you could have won.
Yeah. And 3 times you subconsciously supplied the means to your own defeat. And Thanos is like, oh snap.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And, agrees to help, go up against Nebula. And, Thanos fucking... everybody teleports back to the shrine. And Thanos tricks Nebula into dialing back the clock. What was it? 1 day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before this finger snap.
Yeah.
Which puts the world back on, its normal rotation and everything.
Are you saying
the Ice Age ends? Yeah.
Are you saying he tricked Nebula into giving him 1 more day?
I'm gonna hit you.
yeah.
With a golf club.
Yeah. Please do.
No, this podcast is severely lacking in dick.
Yeah, where is he?
I'm right here. What the fuck?
You're muted like the whole time.
Shh. And that's because I have no control over when my neighbors fight, so I mute. You guys don't hear them screaming at each other if they decide to start
That actually might make for a more interesting show.
I don't want to be the only one here providing dick, though.
Oh dear.
All right.
She got the penis. But yeah, so Jason, please.
Yes, so like in reversing time for a day, Nebula returns to a corpse state, but quickly recovers. You know, kind of like, "Ha! You thought you had me, motherfucker."
Yeah, figures it out pretty fast.
Yeah. This also, you know, frees all the big old cosmic entities who go and attack Nebula. And this is all the distractions so that Warlock can go into Soul World and the Soul Gem and use his connection to the gem to make all the other gems fuck up on her. That's literally what he does. He makes it fuck up.
A few questions here that I had.
What?
Like, why didn't he do that to begin with? He was already in there.
Right. Oh, Wow.
Yeah. Why didn't he do that to begin with? I get that he's saying that Nebula is an easier target because she's less prepared and mentally whatever to handle the godlike powers of Thanos. But I'm still like, why wasn't this your first try? Like,
well,
why didn't you think of this to begin with or do this when it was Thanos?
I think that's plausible because they didn't really realize that Thanos had been self-sabotaging up until, Nebula took the gauntlet. So from their perspective at the time, they would have thought that he, being like a master tactician or all that, would have been... What's that?
Warlock made it clear he knew the whole time.
No.
And yet he didn't try it yet.
I think
it was all part of his entire plan. His plan seems really convoluted when you think you were already in the Soul Stone even while Thanos had it. So why didn't you do this to begin with?
Because it would make a shitty comic book, okay?
It would make a shitty comic book, and also I think Thanos would have been too prepared for that sort of thing.
I'm saying.
So he just would have ended the fucking shit. He just would have been like, okay, fine, fuck you, I'm standing in the universe. Screw it. And that would have been that.
Alright. So,
but that is a good question, though.
This screwing with the gems causes Nebula pain, so she takes off the gauntlet. And this causes a big old scramble where everybody's trying to keep like Thanos from it, except for Drax, who's trying to keep Hulk from it. Even though
I did enjoy that.
Really going after it.
Yeah, I did enjoy Hulk being the voice of reason there.
Yeah,
right.
Oh wait,
that was Professor Hulk, though. So.
Yeah, and wasn't this version of Drax the one who was like fucking functionally brain dead?
Yeah,
he was extra stupid.
He got pissed off because he got robbed of being able to watch Alf.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love me some Alf.
Oh, wasn't there a fucking issue of Silver Surfer where they left him on Earth, or where Silver Surfer left him on Earth to watch TV for like. Yeah, that's what you're referring to, right? Yeah. Was it Alf?
Well, even in these comics, both Pip and Drax enjoyed Alf
right?
a lot.
I'm still not entirely sure what... Okay, anyway, never mind. It doesn't matter. I should actually read the comic.
So instead of, any of these heroes getting the gauntlet, Warlock gets the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Thanos, bitches out and goes, I'm gonna blow myself up and take y'all with me.
Yeah.
Except for he gets knocked into fucking space.
Yeah. And
blows up, supposedly.
Yeah.
Farther into space. Because they're already floating around in there for some reason.
True.
And
even though they're only supposed to be able to breathe out there for an hour, apparently all of this stuff took place in less than an hour.
That's true.
Yeah. Another thing I was keeping in mind while I was reading it, I was like, how is he still breathing?
Right. Eros, fucking Thanos' was it brother?
Yeah.
Takes Nebula into custody because of the shit she did as a pirate. And, with everything having been put back where it was, Warlock just puts everybody else back on Earth and goes, to, like, see you later, folks, kind of thing.
Well, not without the remaining Earth heroes voicing their displeasure at him having the gauntlet
like,
and being used for him to get the gauntlet.
Right. They're like, oh, we've got another deity.
Right?
Everybody pulls their, here's, new deity of the week.
Yep.
But the funny thing is, like, all through the tie-ins, there's, like, everybody goes through their point of coming back around to viewing Warlock as alright with it, to some extent. Or
they
worse.
At least view it as they rather Warlock than Thanos and anybody else that has so far been in the position.
Or, like, fuck. There's one with Surfer, realizing how bad it could have been with Thanos in the long term.
Yeah.
It's like, then people going, how bad could Warlock be, compared to what Thanos could have been.
Right.
But they still don't want anybody holding the fucking gauntlet.
You see, and it's understandable, too, because without the gauntlet, more things were left up to, like, the natural order.
Yeah.
Right.
Than being a single person deciding what is and isn't.
Right.
So it's very understandable. Like, you're still leaving it up to a person instead of more or less nature, in a sense. And people are flawed.
Right.
And after this, didn't Warlock split the gems?
Well, no, there's a bit more to it.
Yeah. Okay.
But first, Warlock goes 60 days in the future to this little backwater planet with a farm, with a scarecrow that looks like Thanos.
His old suit.
With an actual Thanos living as a farmer. And Thanos is like,
know what? Loincloth.
Yeah. Thanos is like, I'm done with this shit. I'm retiring.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of interesting.
But he kind of, like, Thanos decides at that point that he'd much rather be a random-ass farmer living peacefully than have the burden of all of that power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a nice ending, but still opens it up for plenty more. It leaves him alive, and it still leaves the burden of power on somebody that is still, at the end of the day, emotional in a way.
Alright.
Right.
So, Warlock starts doing really fucked up shit like juggling planets and crap, and just starts fucking with reality to show that he can and figure out how things work for himself. And Strange shows up.
I bet.
And Warlock's like, hey, I got this plan. We're gonna get rid of selfish ambition and competitiveness to get rid of war and poverty and all that shit. And Strange is like, oh no, motherfucker, and casts a spell that causes the soul stone to show Warlock what his actions would cause, which is basically reducing sentient beings to animals.
Yeah.
And Warlock goes, okay, maybe I should start thinking about the shit I want to do and how they're gonna, how things are gonna react. Meanwhile, Eternity gets back with the Living Tribunal. It's like, now we got fucking Warlock with the gauntlet. What are we gonna do with it? So they basically call everybody together, Warlock and all the cosmic entities, and they judge whether or not Warlock is fit or worthy for the power, the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, and they realize he is, not mentally fit at all, and convince Warlock to basically just give up the gems. But he does it on his own terms, which is he's going to give the gems away individually to the people he believes should hold them.
Right.
And would keep them from being exploited or used in conjunction. And
he forms the Infinity Watch.
Yeah. And yeah, that's like, what was it? Pip got reality. Moondragon got mind. I think.
Yeah, this goes beyond the comic, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
Drax got power.
Drax got power.
But it's still at least a tiny bit better than
The
one
Scarecrow
person
got a
deciding
heart.
all of it.
Yeah, Drax got power and he ate it.
Did he?
Yes. He ate the Power Stone. Remember, this is dumb Drax. He didn't.
Right.
He thought the Power Stone was a jelly bean.
Yeah, that's one thing I will admit to is my introduction to Drax was most definitely the movies.
Yeah.
I like that Drax.
Like, Gamora got one of them. Might have been Time.
At least she got time, yeah. Because Warlock kept Soul.
Yeah,
The guy
Warlock
got
kept
Rosemary and Sage. Oh no, that was Simon
and-
Garfunkel.
They hit who had reality, and it turned out it was Thanos.
Oh.
But
Why the hell?
There was a
I don't
reason.
know that.
there was a reason.
Okay.
And Living Tribunal goes, you know what? The gems aren't going to be able to be used together anymore. Period. Just done with that shit.
If you obviously read the Infinity Watch comic where that happened, right?
Yeah.
Did you love the fact that fucking Adam Warlock tried to show off,
Yeah.
and then the Living Tribunal snaps his fingers and it stopped everything? And he said, "That's enough of that."
We're done.
Because if you remember, I mean, just kind of going through it, there's a point where the Living Tribunal said he would not get involved in this matter.
Right.
If he had, this would have been a short series, because he goes beyond the power of the Infinity Gauntlet,
Yeah.
because he was put in place by the one above all, which is God, quote unquote. So,
I still think a lot of this would have been shorter if he had tried his whole making the Soul Stone fuck the other stones up thing to begin with, instead of trying to sacrifice all of Earth's people.
Woman, it's about the journey, not the destination.
someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you.
Well, I will warn you now, if you haven't noticed from things prior, that I am one to pick things apart like that. It's part of the fun that I actually have in other people's storytelling is picking it apart.
And Jason, I was going to say, she acknowledges that it's not the destination, it's the journey. She just thought the journey could have been a whole lot shorter.
I'm not a big fan of road
why
trips
didn't they
because
just
I usually have to
fucking
pee
take
halfway
Eagles to
through when we're in the middle of the
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit! Why didn't they have the trees walk them to more?
or why didn't they just use a catapult?
Yeah, I have ruined movies and TV shows for people just by going, you realize this would have been like a 5 minutes
Yeah, that was like
episode
So
if they had just done this
wait a
thing,
second.
which seems like common sense. So
Piper, you're
good at
literally
that.
Randall.
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Randall from Clerks. You're literally like that guy.
yeah. A friend of
I
mine.
am that guy, only hotter.
A friend of mine. Well, I don't know. Randall.
What?
Hey, but no,
Randall's a good-looking man.
but no, a friend told me this, and I don't know where they got it, but they pointed out that fucking Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark would have been exactly the same flick with or without Indy. He didn't if he wasn't in that movie, if he never did anything, would have gone down the same way. The Nazis would have got the Ark, they would have had their faces melted off, and that would have been it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
People
I'm
like
that
to ruin
person.
shit.
And you have to you're gonna have to blame my school for making me into that person.
Everything you love.
Right?
Shit.
But that is right. But that's part of my fun though, is doing that. So I still enjoy the original story, but part of the joy is picking it apart
Ruining it for everybody else.
and ruining it for everybody else.
Oh, shit. But I think there's some plausible explanation for why he didn't do that. I mean, I think the fact that they went out of their way to have him acknowledge that Nebula was a weaker mind and not prepared meant that on some level he, probably didn't go that route because he thought it would be futile when it came to Thanos. You know what I'm saying? I think that was kind of implied. So from that...
I think he knew that she was going to be an easier target and that some things were going to happen as they were. Why he decided to, like, not tell half of the people he was throwing at Thanos, I don't know. Especially Silver Surfer, who he decided to tell at the last second for some reason.
Dude, Silver Surfer's, like, fucking tie-ins during the Infinity Gauntlet were pretty fun. Don't ask me to tell you what they were, though. I can't remember. No, I just remember, wasn't he, like, shunted to some planet or something? And he was, like, a slave there for a while or something? Jason, you would know.
No, that was, like, he kind of daydreamed.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right, because he was stuck in that... while he was waiting for Warlock to tell him to go tackle Thanos, right? Get the gauntlet. Like, that was a whole, like, little fever dream he had or something. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've read the tie-ins, but there was actually some good material in there. I would recommend everybody to just, like, devour everything about it. But, yeah, I mean... So, now that we're done describing it and a little bit of the aftermath that takes place in other books, thoughts?
Yeah,
and not Piper. I was going to say, and not Piper.
Well,
no. Yeah, no, I mean, you
that's discrimination, damn it.
well, hey, we ain't got no time for thoughts.
Wow.
Look at that. Nobody else has anything to say.
No, I was talking. I just sat my fat ass on my little control box thing on my headset.
See, and we're missing Dick again. We're still severely lacking Dick.
we can Skype after this if you want.
Whoa.
So, yeah, Carol's getting laid.
Hey, my head never stops.
So does Dick just sit here and never have an opinion, or what?
I wait for us to talk about the art and shit, right? And also, I make witty one-liners. And
see, you missed it already. I made all the one-liners. I'm sorry. And also already commented on the art with the eyebrows.
Hey,
so you're not needing me, Dick. I'm replacing you.
Oh, talking about the art. Talking about the art, Ron Lim
talk about the art.
Ron Lim got tagged in for as a replacement for George Perez after the first 3 issues, and I don't know about y'all, but I thought he did a pretty good job, man.
Yeah, I didn't even really notice.
Right. It was he managed to maintain consistency, and the great thing about it is, like, that's Ron Lim's style. Like it wasn't him trying to imitate Perez, but it was so complimentary that burp totally didn't derail my thoughts. But no, the art's solid, man. How can you not like George Perez? And I thought this was some of Ron Lim's better work from the time, considering, like, the first thing I ever read about it, or read that he drew, was I want to say X-Mutants, but I don't think that's what it was called. I don't know, but the art in that was like, yeah. So,
I'm sorry, I just saw something funny that's completely unrelated, but anyway.
Yeah, no, the art.
Yeah, I Skyped you my dick.
The art in this is just amazing. Every single panel is a picture, like, straight up, like, or a painting, I guess is a better way to put it, because of course they're pictures. It's a fucking comic book. But no, every single panel is just gorgeous. There's not a single scene in this entire comic where the art looks bad or out of place, or you know what I mean.
There's some little oddities here and there, but overall, though, like, George Perez's fucking art style is so fucking detailed that you can almost forgive him those little things, those little flaws here and there, But overall, yeah, it's some solid shit, man. Like, if you liked his, like, what was it, Crisis on Infinite Earths, yeah. If you liked his stuff over on the DC side, you'll love it over here. And Ron Lim does a good job. And what the fuck?
What I noticed about this was it wasn't like a shock in the transition.
Right.
And that's what I like, because I've read runs that are drawn one way and then a 100% completely different art style halfway through.
Right.
And it fucks me up. Because I'm like, am I reading the same thing? Like the same story I'm supposed to be?
Yeah.
So I like that this was a very smooth
transition.
Yeah. So it didn't take from the story. It didn't confuse me.
Right.
The only thing that managed to lose me at first was the fact that I thought that there was random pages from a different story being stuck in, and that was nobody's fault.
Right.
All right.
That was because you were a thought, my dear.
No.
Oh.
That has more with me being retarded.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, I can actually empathize.
So, guys, remember how we've been having the problem of making our episodes long enough?
Yeah, we've gone over.
Actually.
Yeah, we're like 15 minutes over, dude.
Right.
You're welcome.
I just want to sum everything up by saying this was the story that got me into comics. Like a friend, actually, when I was in foster care, a dude had a big ass box of comics, and he was like, "I'm done with this shit. You can have it." And he had all tie-ins, everything, the entire run of Infinity Gauntlet and all the tie-ins, and I fucking devoured that shit. And so, while it's maybe not the best comic book storyline I've ever read, it's the one that tends to stick with me. Because,
funnily enough, actually, this is the first comic that Jason had me read, believe it or not.
Right.
Like, I think this is definitely a really good spot to start if you're like, I don't know anything about comics. Start with this, because it's very much one of those stories where you're like, holy fuck, I didn't realize that this is what the medium could be. You know, whenever people think of comics, they think, oh, Superman stopped a train, woohoo.
Right.
And it's like, no, fuck you. There's way more going on in comics than you could ever possibly imagine.
There was some great writing in this. There were huge stakes, and see, that's the thing. That's one of the things that really pisses me off. Like when people are talking about the movies, for example, when they say, "Oh, these had no stakes" or whatever. But it's like the stakes are more than like dropping bodies, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and in this case, the story had ramifications that carried on afterwards in the form of Warlock having the gauntlet and shit. So like,
it's an ongoing constant, unlike the movies that eventually have a clear resolution for the most part.
Right.
But it is a good gateway. If the movies are getting you into comics, yes, you can jump in with their new comics, their new versions that are based on the movies. But if you're super curious, you can jump into these, where you see exactly why the movies could not replicate something of this magnitude, because they would go bankrupt with all the actors. But
yeah, and that's the thing. It had stakes. It was well written. It gave you an interesting insight into Thanos, and why, in spite of positioning himself to basically rule the world on a few different occasions, he failed each time and stuff like that. It was, and Jim Starlin did a really great job, at the writing and the characterization and stuff. It is a little 90s in terms of like how the dialogue's written.
And the art too is very 90s, but that was what everybody was doing at the time too. So.
And that's the thing. I think like Ron Lim and Perez's art styles, besides being complementary, were also a little different enough from and especially from what was to come in the following years. When Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane hit. And everything had lines for days, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a unique style. Maybe not necessarily unique, but it was kind of refreshing, and it didn't look necessarily like everything on the page or on the store shelves at the time. And
what else I like to look at is I've had conversations online recently with people talking about how 90s art styles were this and they were that, and supposedly women shouldn't like 90s art styles and stuff like that. So I decided to pay close attention to all of the female characters, both art style and how they were depicted. And I don't see what they're talking about.
Right.
They were strong. And yes, their outfits were whatever, but the dudes were wearing tights too. So, I mean, it wasn't uneven to me.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah. half of the women wore cloaks where there was no features. So,
Right.
and the women were in tights. That's fine. Dudes were in tights too. So,
Yeah.
I don't see this disconnect where they think in the in the 90s and prior that they didn't think women read comics or this and that, because backtracking now, I'm like, I don't feel any female character depicted as less than a male character, both in art style, like their clothing, or in their powers and stuff like that.
Right.
In fact, in this case, more male characters were victimized than women characters. So,
Lord Jesus. Yeah.
yeah.
I think this is as good as a point as any to say we've been going at this for almost like an hour and 20 minutes. So
Yeah, that's
My
an
bad.
hour and 19 minutes and 30 seconds longer than I lasted, So, let's
Again,
wrap
I
it up.
You can last
apologize.
an hour and a half. Holy
You can
fuck.
cut out whatever you want.
nah, we don't edit.
Oh yeah, no. What
Remember,
people listen
I'm
to-
super nerdland thought, so you mean you can cut all of my stuff out if you want.
Oh shit, just long periods where
Maybe cut out those periods of silence.
yeah, no, that would be what we would do if we
Cared.
yeah.
If you really want to, you
All
can
right,
cut out
on that
the Codpiece, the Infinity Codpiece.
that-
But I think that is a staple that should go on in comics from now on. Personally,
The Infinity
but-
Codpiece.
The
Okay.
Infinity Codpiece.
Yeah.
On that note, donate to our Patreon.
Support our coke habit.
Yep.
Hey man, Cherry Coke rules. What?
Also cocaine.
Oh, well, Cherry Coke with cocaine
I
in it
just
rolls.
need some good rum.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah.
I don't even
Thanks
need the Coke part.
Thanks for joining this fucking train wreck. We love you guys. Again, just a reminder, hit us up on Graded.5 on Twitter. Literally fucking spell it out. And you can find us there. Tell us how awful we are, or tell us how much you love Piper, and that you wish this show was just her for an hour. And
You're too nice. Oh, you should be sick more often.
we'll catch y'all later.
Hey, this is Jason. This here to say, if you enjoyed the show, spread it around on social media, and follow our social media presences on Facebook and Twitter, both at Graded.5. Just spell the whole thing out. Also, support your local comic shop and the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. If you don't know where your local comic shop is, there are sites like findacomicshop.com, and that'll help you find it. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll catch you next time.